Yo, what's up, guys? So this one is called "What Else You Got." Um, so it's inspired by Jovan, but I want to get to this point before I forget it. Shit, I did so much shit. Sorry, guys. Let's fucking do this. There we go. I don't know why I can't fucking remember that. Anyway, so what else you got? I want to make this point up front is what I think that question means actually is what do you have that is commercial and bigger? Because oftentimes they bring you in. This video might be good if I can pull that off, how I envision it. Uh, Oftentimes they bring you in off of a script that is not commercial and it's fucking crazy, and they're like, "Ooh, I love the voice," but they're like, "We can't make that." Okay. But keep trying with it. Like keep taking it out to other places and shit, and maybe they can make it, but we can't make it. So what else you got? I think means what do you have that fits us, that fits our brand, that is highly commercial, and where we can make a lot of money. That's the only thing everybody gives a fuck about. Mostly is how do we make a lot of money? That's number one. Number two, they want awards. Okay, so think about that. In my opinion, what other ideas do I have that are highly commercial and can win awards? That's what they're asking you. Okay, I've never heard. By the way, sidebar, not to take all the credit, but I've never heard anybody fucking explain that. You know what I mean? Like to new writers. That's what I think they're asking. They're not asking. So you have this script. Do you have another script just like this one that's not commercial? They're not asking that. They're asking, what do you have that is commercial as fuck and can make us a bunch of money and win us awards? That's what they're asking. Okay? And one thing I would say there is like it's different with film, in my opinion. One guy's opinion, one guy's stupid opinion. It's different in film versus TV. Like in film, they're saying like kind of like sort of one of two things. Like, what do you have that's done that no one has seen though? That's another point. It has to be something. Did it already go out? Then I don't give a fuck. And that's how reps feel too. See, that's a thing that a lot of writers don't know as well, and I'll get back to that. See, I have 8 million thoughts at once. That's another thing new writers don't understand is you might have a script that went out and did kind of well for you. You know what I mean? But it just didn't quite land. You know what I mean? Even though it landed, like you got you traction and this kind of shit, but it didn't get made. You know what I mean? That kind of shit. Like so, if you have, I'm going like so, beyond like step one. So if you've been repped, then you get a different rep. That new rep doesn't give a fuck about that script. That script is kind of dead for them. Even though you're like, oh, it's so good, it's kind of dead for them. And here's my point there is they probably won't even read it. Like when you get signed again, I guess I'm moving into step two, but I'll go back to step one. But when you get signed again somewhere else with someone else, and you have like a little body of work, that didn't quite land with other agents and shit, they don't care. They're like, cool, that was with your other reps. What's new? You know what I mean? Let's do something new. So know that. So you're gonna have to write a lot of scripts, dude. Okay? And a lot of new writers don't know that. It doesn't feel like they know that. I'll get into that. I want to talk about Juno for a second, but let me go here first and actually get into the fucking video. So Jovan said, is it crazy that I want to finish 3 scripts before querying? Richard Pierce said, great plan. If a producer reads your script and digs your writing, but it's not a fit for them, they'll ask, what else you got? And you want to have an else, quote unquote, you want to have an else, okay? And then he says, maybe even a few else's. Yes, you know what I mean? What I said is, and other people make good points in this too. What I said, not crazy. I got signed with one script. First question I got was, what else you got? Because I came in with a crazy script. So like, we can't fucking make that, okay? It's neat, but let the indie world fuck with that. We don't care, you know? We're studio. Like, we don't fuck with little shit like that, okay? But we like the voice. And here's what I said to that question. What else you got? Me, nothing. I had no other script, dude. I don't have anything else. I don't have any ideas. This was just meant to be a one-off. I don't even know why I'm in this fucking meeting. You know, I meant for this thing to be made in the indie world, and let me explain that real quick. I've already explained it, but real quick. I meant for it to be a one-off script that I wrote, and I get it made for almost no money, $1 million, which, you know, whatever. I direct it, I produce it, I direct it, I score it. What else? I wrote it. I meant for that to be just a way to break me out of the ghosting world in composing. That's what that was meant to do. Break me out of the composing world in ghosting land. It wasn't meant to break me into the writing world, but it fucking did. Accidentally, okay? So, that's what I'm saying. It was meant to be a one and done. I write this thing, I do it, and then I score it, and I'm like, see, you know, I've made that point before. See my music, that the shit I wanted to write, not me fucking copying other shit, because that's what a lot of directors want you to do. Just copy this other fucking score. Let me rip off this score from, you know, Chris Nolan. Just do that, but get close, but don't super rip it off. But if you do rip it off and you get fucking busted, you're the ones getting sued, not me, dude. You know, that's the composing world. So it's trying to break out of that shit. But anyway, so then I said, that's why I had another script ready in 3.5 weeks after that question. 3 is a good number before you query. 3 scripts. They mostly want to know you're serious about writing. I said, don't trip, homie. Like, you're young, bro. You're gonna bang out a bunch of more scripts and shit like this. So don't trip, but you are gonna have to write a lot more scripts. And that's one thing that that leads into the Juno thing. But that's a thing that a lot of brand new writers don't fucking know or don't want to face. Like, I want to be a Diablo Cody. You know, I want to write one script. It goes out. It's a big fucking hit. It gets made. Everybody loves it. I'm the talk of the town. It gets made. Then I win an Oscar. Then I get paid a bunch of money. And then boom. And then I'm a superstar. Come on, you know that's fucking true. That a lot of writers want to do that. And they got one script. And it's like, brother, like, you're going to have to write so many more scripts. I promise you. You know, maybe you'll be a Diablo Cody, but probably not. You know, probably you're gonna have to write a bunch of fucking scripts, and some of them will land, you know, around town. Ooh, it gets hot for a minute. So like, they like it, and then fucking, or people attach, and then people fucking drop it for some reason, for reasons you can't even fucking imagine. You know. So know that up front, that yeah, you're gonna have to write, and sidebar, that's a fucking job anyway. So just go into it knowing I'm gonna have to write a fuck ton of scripts. That's the job. Oh yeah, I forgot. Like, that's the fucking job, is to write a bunch of fucking scripts. So, you know, when you're trying to get signed off one script, I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend like write 3, you know, and then you have some other scripts to talk about. And not only that, you have experience. More importantly, I would say you have experience putting your baby aside and being like, I have to write something else. I have to write something else. Okay, so now this is my new baby. You see what I'm saying? I said this the other day to a writer. I said, you know, like, just picture it like your kids. Like, you can love more. Don't get stuck on one. You can love more than one kid, right? If you have a bunch of kids, you're like, I love them all, dude. You know what I mean? So do that with your scripts as well. You know, make them all your babies. You know what I mean? While also realizing I have to let go of some of this and allow them to feel like they're like the step parents to this, or they won't care, you know. And that's why I say the film and TV industry, I think, is a bit different because you know, just in a general sense, I think the film industry wants you to come. Like, the script's like, there it is, the script's fucking done. We just need to make some tweaks and maybe we can fucking go out and do this thing. But the TV world is more like they want their hands in the clay. They want to be in it from the fucking beginning. You know what I mean? Which is why I say for TV shit, I think it's fucking stupid to go out and write a bunch of episodes. You know, I've already said that because it could fucking change. They could be like, we love the fucking, that's all they give a fuck about is we love the pilot. And they want to know you have more ideas, but they just want to hear what your ideas are. They don't want to read it. You know what I mean? I think a lot of writers fuck themselves up that way. Is like, oh, I will write all these episodes. They don't give a fuck. They're not going to read them. They're just like, we just want to know that you have ideas about where this is going, you know? And if you got that, cool. What is it? Like, what's your ideas? Cool, great. We don't want to do that. We love the pilot, but we want to go, in your mind, you want to go what way? You want to go that way? No, it's a no. We love it. We'll try to do it, but we want to go that way with it. So all that shit doesn't fucking matter. But we just want to see that you, like, where do you think? You know, you see what I'm saying? So that's why it's a fucking waste of your time to write a bunch of fucking pilots for no fucking reason. What else? See, I'm trying to talk fast because I'm trying to not make my videos so long, okay? What else? Here's the thing that people don't know, I don't think. Let me make this point. I've said it before, but not in this way. Looking back, from what I know now about the industry, looking back, because, you know, a lot of people say, it's all about who you know, it's all about networking, all this kind of shit. A lot of people look at me, too many people, in the past have thought that, you know, if I was married to an agent, I'd be guaranteed, bro. Like, here's what I would say. I would, you know, to break in and whatever. But I would say this, looking back, I knew at the time my first script, I knew Sherry was not going to sign me. I knew that was not going to happen. 100% no. But looking back, even if she would have said, I will sign, because she said, she finally read it and said, I love it. No, let me take that back. She never said she loved that script. She said, I think it's maybe good. That's what she said to me, exact words. I think maybe it's good. That's what she said to me. Never said I love it. Never overhyped me, none of that shit. But going back, knowing what I know now, even if she would have said, here's one thing I think writers don't understand. Going back now, even if she would have said, I love it, I want to sign you. I would have said, you can't, no, you cannot. You can't sign me. Someone else has to. A lot of writers would be like, what the, what? Like, so you would tell, so you're married to an agent at the time, and you would tell your wife at the time, don't sign me? Absolutely not. Why? Because it fucks the brand up. That's why. You know, and a lot of writers don't get that. No, I didn't want to be signed by her. I wasn't begging her to be signed because I knew it would fuck the brand up. Why? Because then it looks like she's trying to help her husband and squeeze her husband in. And who the fuck is this guy? He's not even a writer. He's a fucking composer. You see what I'm saying? So I've never made that point. Hell no. I wouldn't sign me personally, I would know. I would not sign my spouse until later. That's when she represented me. You know what I mean? Because then it was okay. Because then it was like, okay, cool. Like I'd gone out and made nice with her friends, you know, her people she'd worked with. You know, I'm doing meetings with them and shit, generals and attachments and all this kind of shit, you know. That's when she was willing to like take, you know, rep me officially. But sidebar, see, here's another thing, is like everybody's story is different. You know, and here's a point with that is like, when I first got signed, I know I'm repeating myself at this point, but whatever, like some people haven't seen the shit and it's way back in like 200 videos ago. When I first got signed, I got signed off a hard drama, right? So that's how my agent saw me. And then 3.5 weeks later, after I get signed, oh, here's another point that I've never fucking made. That a lot of, I wish I would have said this sooner, because I know a lot of people already clicked out. But a lot of writers don't know that when I got signed, Sherry didn't even know I got signed. You know, a lot of writers think like you were, you know, a lot of new writers, you were married to an agent, like she super helped you and all that shit. She put it all together. No, she didn't even know I got signed. And then I come back and she's like, how'd the meeting go? And I said, they signed me. And she's like, oh shit, oh, good for you. Like, okay, that's all your shit. That's all your world. Oh, you got signed as a writer now? Okay, like good luck out there. Best of luck. It's all, go ahead. She wasn't like, let me help you every step of the fucking way. No. She's like, I got my own shit going on. But sidebar, I did help her a lot over that way. But she helped me on this side too. In particular, like, for example, like everybody's story is different. My agent read a certain script of mine and I don't think she liked it. And Sherry was like, I think it's fucking good though. So Sherry, at that point, because I'd already gone out, you know, done the generals, done the water bottle tour, I already done that shit. So at that point, Sherry looked at it like, you're kind of out there a bit, so if I take your shit out, it's not gonna look bad. So she's the one who took that. She's like, I'll take that script out. Your agent doesn't want to take it out. No offense to my agent, whatever, at the time. But Sherry's the one that took that out. And so I was landing with two different fucking camps. And that might happen to you. You know, a lot of people ask, like, am I allowed to write in two different things? I think so. In two different genres? I think so. Then you just have See, I don't think there's any order to the way the industry works. I think it's just fucking chaos. So in my brain, what makes the most sense is if you're doing like in that example, if you're doing hard drama, you know, like American Beauty type shit. That's what that script was like. And then I have another thing that's more like John Wick. The easiest solution to me is just have two agents. You know what I mean? You take this shit out, you take that shit out. Super simple, you know. So I would say, you know, I know agents and shit. They want you to get in the lane, and a lot of people will give you that advice to create your brand and just stay in that lane, which is not bad advice. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're a person that is like really hell bent on like, no, I wanna do this. I love fucking drama. And but I also like shoot 'em up shit. So I want to do both, or whatever it is, you know, horror or whatever the fuck it is. I think if you want to try, hey man, it's your life, bro. Like, I think if you want to try that shit, fucking go for it. And just have more than one agent. You know, have them rep you on this, have them rep you on that. Like, why is it so difficult? And then whatever shit lands, cool. Am I done? I think I'm done. I'm 20 minutes. I'm gonna stop talking. So that's my thoughts on what else do you have? You're gonna have to write a lot of scripts. That's just what the fuck it is. And I think to close it out, I think if you're a new writer, see, looking back for me, I would have never if you would have told me you're gonna have written 14 scripts that were brutal, bro, gut wrenching. Some of them I'm fucking crying while I'm writing it. Like, oh my God, this is so fucking, you know, swear to God, man. Like, I'll admit it. You're gonna have to go through that fucking emotional turmoil. You know what I mean? Multiple fucking times, and just come to terms with that. You know what I mean? Oh fuck, I forgot to talk about Juno. Let me go there for a minute and then I'll shut the fuck up. So I know a lot of writers want to be like, that's the only example I can think of is like Diablo Cody, who broke in off one script and then it caught fire and it got made and she wins a fucking Oscar off it. You know what I mean? Isn't that the dream scenario for a lot of writers? Who repped her, by the way? Oh, you know who it was? It was Sarah Self, I think. And Sarah Self used to be Sherry's assistant back in the day. But what I would say there is I thought the script was perfect. I read it early. I saw it, you know, like when it was going around like undercover. That's when I read it. I'm like, this is before I even wrote anything, and I'm like, ooh, this script is like fucking perfect. However, I did think, if I'm being honest, it's the only script I ever read that I thought, this should be made word for word. I see not really any changes. You know, like, barely, nothing. Like, you know, it's 99.9999% of the way there. Only script I've ever read like that. Not that I'm saying it's the best script I've ever read. I'm just saying it's the most makeable script that I ever read. However, I thought, trying to hurry up. However, I thought that, you know, dream scenario for her, right? That's my point. Dream scenario. However, I thought if I was her rep, I would be a little concerned. Can you write something else? Because it was so character specific. And I'm not trying to put Diablo down by saying that. I'm just saying I would be concerned. Like, that goes into the what else you got type of thing. Okay, you have Juno. What else you got? Like, what else can you do? Because it's so character specific. You can't just keep doing that same character. So, in my mind, I could be wrong. In my mind, then I know it sounds like I'm gonna put her down right now, but that's not my point. I tried to read. So I was curious, like, can't she move on? Because I thought, I know this is a big hit, but I'm not convinced that she can write at this point. Sorry, I'm not. So then I'm like, let me read Jennifer's Body because I'm just curious, is it gonna be good? And I tried to get through it. I couldn't, man. And sorry. I don't like to talk shit on writers, but I'm just being honest. I couldn't, like, I was just like, no, it's not for me. To me, it felt like trying to stuff Juno into a horror movie. So I'm just like, this doesn't work for me. Like, you gotta move on from the hamburger phone and all this kind of shit. And I think, now I'm trying to give her a compliment. I think that she realized, I'd be curious to ask her that question. Did Jennifer's Body show you that? I know some people loved it. For me, not really. But I think she learned how to write off of, for real, off of United States of Terra. I think that's when she really like grounded herself and like, okay, like I need to create totally different characters. I can't rely on that like cutesy talk. I gotta fucking move on. You know what I mean? Which is a good lesson, you know, which is a lesson in you're gonna have to write so many fucking different characters. You can't just keep writing the same character every fucking time. You know, you can't keep writing the same script every time. You gotta fucking move on, you know? So, anyway, like what else you got? Okay, you gotta move on. What else you got? Okay, so I'm out, guys. Hopefully that's helpful. I'm out, peace. Good luck, kill it, murder this fucking industry, be rich and famous. One day, can I have your autograph, please? Thank you, bye guys.